What's up, everybody? Grid by Guru here, and today what we're going to do, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about an idea that I think, depending on what happens in these next couple of days / this next week or two, I feel like would be a good play for some of you out there trying to end up making some money based on this downtrend that we have. Now, currently, right now, I'm on Pinex. I have been with Pinex for several years. If you guys are interested in Pinex, click the link below, click the referral link, get signed up with them. And if you have any questions, you can find me on Discord at Grid.Guru. And you can also find me on Telegram. Our Facebook group is also open. You can find me, tag me, feel free to tag me. Somebody yesterday, I think, ended up saying, do you think he'll end up answering private messages? I will. I may not get to him exactly on time. I do have a lot of people who send me messages, but I will get to you, okay? For those of you who don't know what Pinex is, we are the exchange is an exchange that uses built-in trading bots. So what people like myself, what we end up doing is we end up using those bots and using those fluctuation in prices in order to end up increasing our profits instead over just holding. So there are there's a reverse grid bot, which I'm going to talk a little bit about today. There are smart trades. There's an infinity bot. There's a standard grid bot. There is a DCA bot, which is doing amazing with my ETH. I was very excited to see how well it's doing with that. But what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and get started. What I have is, since I am in the United States, I have brought up the Coinbase chart. Okay, so that's going to be the one that I'm focused on currently. Now, right now, what you guys are seeing is we have a very, very hard downtrend. Okay, and if we go back and we end up going back into last year, okay, was that August, I think? July into late July, very into July, you're going to see and you're going to notice that we ended up having a dip right around in here. Okay, so from about May all the way to July, we ended up having kind of a downtrend, and that downtrend ended around 29,500. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you kind of my idea, my thoughts on where and what potentially could happen, and give you an idea of what we end up having. So sometimes people are like, "Oh, here's the downtrend," but really, what you need to do is you need to, when in doubt, zoom out. That is kind of the motto. So what you end up having is when you actually zoom out. Let me change my areas to some horizontal lines. You have an area of right there all the way to down there, okay? So those areas, so I can come over if I bring, let's see, nope. If I bring those two highs and lows from this area right here, so January of 2001, and then July, May, June, July of 2001, we're going to have an area of really good support and resistance around this area. So I've highlighted that, and what you're going to end up having is you're going to have a high of around 30,000, and then you're going to have a low of 28.5, somewhere around there. Now, what does that mean? That means that that area is going to be an area of support and resistance. And what usually ends up happening in these areas is you will have some upward movement and downward movement until something breaks. So right now you have the bulls and the bears are fighting hardcore. And what's going to end up happening, you can see that this wicked all the way down to about 20. And this, again, this is on Coinbase, okay, 25.3, which means that they are wanting to sell hardcore. But you can see that it also wicked back up as of right now to about 28.5, we'll say 28.4, 28.5. So that means that there is a lot of buying want. So a lot of people are wanting to buy in this area. However, what we could end up seeing, okay, and I'm going to show you I'm going to show you why I think this, okay. What I think is our next area is going to be around the 24-23 area. The reason why is because this spot right here, the next one after that is going to be around 20 to about 17. And then we could end up getting back down into the 12. And I know that some of you are going to end up thinking I'm crazy. 12 to 10 area. So let me make a couple of little boxes and get rid of some of these. So we could go from here. So this is going to be our next area of support and resistance. And this is what I personally feel like. Here's our next one. And here is the other one. Okay. Now, what I've done is I've highlighted about 4 different big areas. Does that mean that they're going to stay in those areas? No, it doesn't. It may go down. It may wick down like it's done, but those are going to be 4 areas. So we're going to need to go through all of 4 of those before we start worrying about another support and resistance area. And at that point, it may be one of those where we're like, well, okay, what do we do? And you may have to actually redo your charting. This is why I think that we could end up seeing something crazy, like around the 10,000 range. If you go back all the way back to December of 2017, you're going to see the Bitcoin comes to about 20,000. Okay. Now, if I measure this, actually, I'm going to put a line. It comes to about 20,000. So I'm going to put a line right there. It then drops down to about 3,000. I'm going to put a line right there. Okay. I'm hoping you guys are following what I'm saying. From that point, if we measure that, okay, I'm going to go from the top all the way down to the bottom. Okay. That is going to be about 1 year. And it took, so 365 bars. It was 365 days. So it's about a year. Okay. Obviously, we stayed down around the 3,000 range. So it may end up being a little bit more around this area where we start going up. But you can see that it went down 82%. Okay. Now, why is that important? Well, let me show you. So if it went down in 1 year about 82% from the $20,000 high that it had, this is where we're at. Okay, our high on about 65, 68, it looks like about. But here's the part that gets interesting. So if I start here and I go down and I go to a year, 65 days. Go back one, okay? And I go down, I'll redo it. If I say about 80%, okay? About 80%, 365 days, we're looking at around November 10th, we could potentially start going back up. Potentially. Now, a lot of this is forecast. There could be different things. People could end up starting to buy hardcore at this 30 range. People could start buying at this 24 range, the 20 range. You have all these different ranges that people could start buying at. But you can see that if we end up coming back another 80% from the all-time high at this current moment, we're looking at around 13,000. Okay, around 13,000. So that is kind of my thoughts and my ideas. Now, what exactly does that mean? If you are on Pinex, what you can end up doing, let me get rid of some of these boxes and whatnot. If you're on Pinex, what you could end up doing, and I believe I may end up kind of getting into this at one point, you can end up starting what's called a reverse grid. Now you may say, well, what exactly is that? A reverse grid is going to end up being a grid that you are buying and trying to accumulate a coin with. Okay, so I can run a reverse grid from about 28 all the way down to 24. What ends up happening is it works exactly like a grid bot. Okay, I have another video showing the differences if you're curious about it. So it's going to buy low, it will sell high. However, the idea behind the reverse grid is you are wanting to try to gain some coins. And so on the way down, you can end up moving your stop loss very carefully, okay? Think about this, your stop loss. It is a reverse grid. So your stop loss, you can end up moving it. I'm going to label these for you actually. I'm going to put it in the center. And then this one. Okay, so you can end up changing and you can lower your stop loss down. Okay, so what does this actually look like? Your take profit's going to be at the top, at the very bottom of your grid. And what that's going to do is that's going to take all of your money and invest it into that coin. I'm going to explain a little bit more here in a bit. Okay, the stop loss, you can start walking that down. So you may end up waking up, you may start your grid up there, and then you may end up just continuing to walk it down because Bitcoin's price keeps going down. But at the same time, it's also fluctuating. So you're also getting those small fluctuation in prices. So maybe your stop loss hits at 26,000 and then it goes up to 36,000. That means from 26 to 36, you've gained all of that profit just by holding that coin. So how does this actually work? What you end up doing is you will invest and you will end up buying into the coin, okay? And as it goes and as it moves, you're going to end up getting the grid profits. So it buys low, it sells high. The big difference in the reverse grid and the normal grid is what the stop loss and the take profit do. Stop loss and the take profit will take your investment and go all in on the coin at whatever price it is. So if I have $1,000, 1,000 USDT, and I've put it in to this coin, I can keep walking it down, and as soon as it hits my stop loss or my take profit, it is going to take that 1,000 and it's going to go all in on that coin. Okay, so then what ends up happening is you could end up going and you could run another reverse grid down. So you could sell for whatever your high price is. You could end up selling it for a high price and then doing the same thing, and you can kind of keep walking it back down. Or you can hold and wait for the price to come back up. Okay. So there are lots of little different options here. To me, what I am watching is I'm going to end up watching this $24,000 area. I do feel like this 28, I feel like we are going to end up breaking through that. I do feel like we are going to go to at least 24. My gut feeling is that we're probably going to end up, especially with all of the other stuff happening with the different coins and whatnot, I feel like people might end up getting some cold feet whenever we break through that. And I kind of expect a pretty big sell off. I could be wrong. Please do your own research. But I'm looking at the $24,000 area, and maybe by the end of summer, down here in the 13, possibly $18,000 area. I do think that we will end up coming back, and we'll have a. I feel like this is a healthy correction for a coin. It is good for coins to do this, but it is also scary at the same time because you have to make sure your risk and everything is managed correctly. All right, everybody. Again, this is my thoughts. This is an idea I have. If you are on Pinex, it is going to work. It might work great. Pinex does have the reverse grid bots, so that could end up working in your favor. Okay. As always, what I want you guys to do is during this time, I've heard a lot of things about people losing lots of funds with, like I said, everything going on, Luna and whatnot. Make sure you're doing your research and make sure you're not using money that you will need tomorrow or in 2 weeks. Okay. This should be money that you have set aside specifically to use in crypto. And when you are investing in crypto, you have to have the mindset of what happens if I wake up tomorrow and I have nothing in crypto. And that's a scary thing, but that is the mindset you need to end up having because it can happen. All right, everybody. As always, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. If this has been informational for you, let me know. If you don't like what I've done today, tell me why. All right. Again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share this video out if you will. Let's get Pinex in the United States. Let's get them going as best as we can. And as always, I want everybody to have a safe and happy day trading. And I want you all to stay green. I'll see you next time.